Okay, I forgot about our weather project, so put that on the whiteboard. I want to be able to go through portions of that. For what people put together so far, there's UDF in there, that's really good. That Joe had applied, and there's input from Yukiko and Sergio on that as well. So let's start with until people get back. So I see Jay just came on. Hey Jay, can I do a quick test? Can you hear me or not?
Your mic or his mic's muted?
Your mic muted.
No, I was able to talk with Yukiko earlier today.
Okay.
I didn't change anything.
His mic's muted.
Yeah, his mic is muted. I always ask people to mute.
But on top,
Oh yeah, I know. Otherwise you hear.
on top, your mic is muted.
I go like that, then it's not muted.
That image confused me.
Yeah, I'm with you. Because according to that, we're not videotaping. Because that image said no video.
Even it's not that means okay, stop.
Yeah, I know what it means to you. Why are you showing something when it's not muted? Make it go away.
Exactly. Yeah, for whatever reason.
Take up less space on my desktop.
Google has a very strange interface to Hangouts here.
Don't say strange.
It's better than your company, isn't it?
True.
I'm gonna get Jay a quick call here. So I don't want to stop the broadcast. I'll just edit this so I can turn off the first few portions. Hello? Hi, Jay. Hello? Are you there? Hello, Jay. He accidentally answered the phone. Hey, Jay? Okay. Let's send him a text and then start.
How do you run that Python again? You say Python versus headline?
Python and the space file name.
You gotta put a dot somewhere in there.
Dot slash.
That slash me just means it's current.
Are you there, Jay? I can't hear you.
If you rerun it, will the output probably get bigger, or will it just start again?
No, it's just started.
Okay, now we have people coming on. We'll be starting up in just a moment here. Sending Jay a text so he can get his side worked out because I don't think his volume is on. Okay, let's take a look at the output that we got, and then we'll run the big script. I forgot to put in the weather project. I wanted to cover that for people, what people put in. Hey, Kiko. I'd sent it out. I see a couple people that are on now. Okay, interesting. Let me see if somehow I wound up with a odd link here. Okay, just a moment. I'll send that. Okay, well, just stay on the line. I'll put you on speaker here. Let's see if we get that worked out. Maybe Jay's having the same issue here.
Well, Jay's on. I see his icon, so he and then Jit has a link. Yeah.
Okay, so I missed you in the link that I sent out. Apparently.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Somehow I dropped you off of the sending of the part 2 link or somewhere along there. Were you dropped off on the part 2?
Right, so I listened to it on YouTube. I was able to follow it, but I could not join as a participant.
Okay, interesting. I didn't know you had access to it through YouTube. Okay, so you should be set up now. Thanks for calling. All right, so the let's see. So the point where we ended was we got our Python script running that generated an output.csv. So has anybody bothered to look at the CSV yet? Let's see what was in there. In which case, what are you seeing?
Yeah, it has so many things.
Okay, so this is like normal stuff. So if we look at just in order to help our eyes focus, you can obviously bring it up in an editor, but it's still easier to just say, grab the first row off of here, output.csv, and we get, because it's CSV, you know, it's comma separated version. So anywhere there's a comma, there's a new field. So what are we looking through here? We've got the number here, which is the positivity, or in this case, negativity of the article. So with the words that were chosen that the journalist used, a lot of negative stuff in here. Okay, so this is the Barcelona attack. So there should be a lot of negative stuff in there. right? This is the title of the article that was read in and processed by Python. And this is the source right here. From a URL perspective, Wall Street Journal, it gets repeated here as a publisher, then the date and time, right down to microseconds. Interesting. I haven't seen that in a long time on any type of web type based information. All right, so those are the fields that are there. Now, if I just look at a few more here, just so we get some sense of variety, look at and if I really want to make this easier to look at, I can cut part of this. So, cut, what is it, dash F.
Do what?
If I want to retain the first two fields, I want to cut field 1 to 2, right?
Yes, you can do a CUT space minus F, and then you want to say, for instance, the first 1 and 2, the first and the second, 1 comma 2 space minus D for delimiter, and then between double quotes the comma.
Got it. Thank you. All right, there we go. Thank you. All right, so if we look at these fields here, now that I've got a lot of the extra noise, so to speak, filtered out, I just looked at like the first 15 of these. We see that there's some negative articles here, okay, and then we see that there's some neutral articles, and then, interestingly enough, we probably got to go down a lot further to find any negative articles. If you get this image lined up with that score, the overall score for the article is the focal point what the Python script provides. Then if you look at the articles themselves, and going down one in VI just shows the format. That's a lot more obvious.
I like the language because better rule of water.
So here's Lucky Logan. So somebody has a 4 and a 2, and I'm down here in the hundreds already. All right, so the Python script just does a sensitivity analysis. Says here's what we found relative to the APEN scoring pattern, which is fairly heavily used. All right, let's
the minus 15 is just a number, right? In your in your headings.
You mean 15 or minus 15? Why not sure you're saying minus 15?
When you ran the command, if you repeated the command, not the line number.
Hello?
Hey, there you are. I hear you now, Jay.
If you just
bring your...
I switched to my phone earlier because the computer was lighting.
Okay. What was your question on that?
Okay. Obviously, mine's different because I ran it much later. But if you get out of this one and go back and rerun the command to list it.
Okay. Just to run these, for example.
Yeah, the dash 15. That's just going to put out 15 lines.
Right. First
And
15
then
lines.
fields 1 and 2 are the only ones you care about.
Right.
And your delimiters are so. All right.
So when you run this, which I ran up above,
Yep.
then you get this, or something similar.
Wow, you're getting a lot of negative. Mine didn't get.
But
I'm getting very little negatives.
It depends on where you're.
Where I'm at, where I grabbed my data from.
And it also, because this is a threaded application, each of us are running differently. So it's not necessarily going to be the same output.
Right. Even if we started at the same time, it would get the same.
Right. Right. If you were to grep for like this first article, grep in quotes here, like just pull this one off here. If you were to grep for that and type this command in to output CSV, you should get. I usually like to throw a spacer in here, some space blank line. When the file gets so long that it wraps all the time. I usually gotta throw some blank lines in here so my eyes can focus. But if you ran a graph like this, for this particular article title, I think everybody would find this in their output.csv. So you can go give that a try and see if that's there. It should be there in everybody's output.
Let me ask you one question.
Mm-hmm.
In the there is a file called AFINN dash 111.txt, right?
Correct.
It has two fields, a word and a value and a number. Who creates or who provides those numbers?
Yeah, if we go to, so the quickest way to answer that is to go into, and I think I closed the tab because I pulled it up earlier. It's AFIN?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Then we're looking at 111. So all right, so this one comes, I believe it's out of a university setting. I looked at this like 6 to 12 months ago. I forget when I looked at it, but it's a general consensus among university people with some professional input.
Oh, okay, so this is a predefined number. A group of people sets that number and then, so we can just use it.
Right, so you can almost, it's a de facto standard for general use sensitivity analysis.
Right. Okay, so it's like in insurance purposes, how much is a finger, how much is our hand,
Exactly.
an arm, things like those, predefined values, okay.
Yeah, it's all predefined. If you go look it up here, you'll find information about it and where it comes from. So just Google it up and you'll get a lot more detail about who
Thank you.
puts this together. But it is a fairly common one that's out there, which is the reason why I chose to put it in. It's actually, this particular lab that we're doing, that we went through, this is pulled out of a university textbook where they teach data science using Hadoop. So this particular scenario is just pulled directly out of that textbook.
Oh, okay, wow.
And did I bring the textbook? I'll have to bring the textbook next time. It's a textbook I bought. I'm trying to find items that are used at the university level, examples that are used at the university level, and then also looking for stuff on my own, like with that weather.data.
Mm-hmm.
But the weather data idea came, the reference to the weather data set came out of that same book. They had like 150 different data sources listed in their book. I'm like, wow, this is nice.
Whenever you have a chance, could you please send us the title of the book that you're talking about?
Sure. Yeah, it's a little expensive even when it's used. I only buy used books, so it's not cheap.
Yeah, but
but it is
one of the best investments that you can do is buying a good book.
Yes. Yeah. When I buy books, I buy a lot all at once. So I'll buy anywhere from
Save the shipping?
6 to 15 books, and it'll take me about 4 to 5 hours to sift through all the different books to figure out what the best choices would be.
On a particular subject?
On a particular subject, like big data, technical, or analytics, or SOA, or for this other database I worked with called CouchDB. They don't have 15 books, and we have 3 of them. That's all that exists. But it's really helpful to spend time. So I can give you my full list if you want to see the list that I filtered.
Okay.
I've got that fairly easily available. Some of these pop up as we go through the class. All right, so the file format is this guy right here. Yeah, mute somebody, he's not muted. So there we go. All right, so so this is what's in the output file that was generated by the Python script. So let's run the pig script now and see what we get out of that. And we could try, because a little bit of time has passed, it would be interesting if you wanted to play around with this. I saved a copy of this output CSV, and just out of curiosity more than anything else, I'm just going to run the script after lunch now, and then I'll run it before the end of the day, just to see if we get a different, an updated output. So if I just run this Python dot slash.
The CNN, if you're running the first speed, which is the CNN, that hasn't changed.
Okay, and I don't know if any of the others have changed or not.
Because we are just using one. The program is only using CNN. It's not using all of them.
No, it's using all of them.
Is it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because look at here's the Wall Street Journal listed right here. And this is like the third or fourth one down.
Oh, okay. Then I misunderstood the script. Because I looked at the script and, well, maybe it uses all of them.
Yeah. So I'm just going to run that again out of curiosity, see if I do an update. Let's see, it's 2:03. So, all right, so it's not updated yet. I'm just going to let that run in the background, just because I'm curious to how long it takes on a Saturday for this thing to update. Last time we did this live, we did it at the end of the day, so I had no opportunity to see if it, every 6 hours or something like that, it updates. All right, from a pig perspective now, if we go ahead and run the pig script, first of all, let's look at the pig script so we can see what is running, and then try to imagine, okay, what is this, what would the output be? So I'll set the numbers on here. All right. So straight out, what is this first? Somebody state in English or Spanish. I can understand quite a bit of Spanish. Can't speak it well, but I can understand.
I can speak Chinese.
That was not real. Got limitations that way. But how do you verbalize what lines 1 and 2 are doing? And this is like going back to the reviewing thing.
This is in the script?
Yeah, this is the pig script.
Load the output CSV.
Are we gonna be able to run pig and that other thing in the background?
That big.
Right.
I mean, but pig with the Python running.
Yeah.
Just wondering if it should slow down to a crawl.
Yeah, well, I'll find out if it's.
1, 2, 3. 1.
So what we are doing is we are
Each record has 3. Each line actually has 3 data.
As 3 what?
Not that column.
3 columns.
No. Yes, 3 columns. You can see that 3 columns. The first column, the format is float, and then the third and the second and third are both array.
Yeah. So and we did just look at the file, right?
Yes.
So I go back into this case study. And for ease of reference, I'll just bring up the output.csv. And I'll bring up the original one, just in case the other one gets overwritten. And I'm curious whether it will update. I know it does update during weekdays, because I run it and it updates once an hour. All right, so here's the input file, okay, which is called output.csv from the Python script. So this is everything that makes up one row. So exactly what Joe is reading now, what's actually being read by the Python script.
What? Okay.
Joe is saying we're reading the first column, the second column, third column, which is perfectly right. And then what's being thrown away?
How many columns do you have?
No, it's just going to be
Timestamp. I think the
number of occurrences per work.
Right.
I'm
That's
sorry.
overall. That's what it'll do. But notice that the load is throwing away the name of the publisher and it's throwing away the date timestamp.
Yeah, the timestamp.
It's not reading those into the data set.
Oh, but throwing away. Oh, okay, I'm
It's
sorry.
throwing it away, meaning it's ignoring it.
Yeah,
It's
right,
actually not
right.
throwing them away, 'cause it
They
doesn't
only
want
pick
it.
up whatever we need.
Yes.
Right.
Only-
So you only pick what you need. You don't need to take everything. Right, so that's an observation that we've not had from previous big exercises.
Right.
And then here's a different, distinct
Distinct.
here is different than distinct from an SQL perspective. This
This
is
is
looking at
sort
distinct rows. It's not looking at distinct column values.
Distinct roles.
Right.
Sergio did a quick script last week that would provide distinct columns. So that came out fairly clean. And then we're grouping by headline. So why are we grouping by headline here? And this is an important question just from a domain understanding perspective. You gotta for any type of data analytics, you gotta understand the domain from which the information is being processed. So the domain here is online news publishers.
Right. Why are we sorting it like that or
Right.
grouping it like that? Because the same headline could be in all different RSS feeds.
Right, could be because Associated Press is a general producer, and Wall Street Journal could pick it up, and CNN could pick it up, so you'll have two occurrences of it.
Exactly.
So the distinct is going to throw out those multiple
The duplicate
occurrences,
ones, yeah.
right?
Throw the duplicate line.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this will throw out the duplicate lines right here, the distinct will.
Mhm.
At least we'll run this piece by piece to see what happens, I think. And then we group by headline. So here we're getting ready for the processing.
Yes.
All right, so for each data generate, so whenever you see this for each, and then the word generate, in between it is always a data set. But for each generate means that we're going to create a new relation. It's going to be assigned the alias words. And we're going to go through and
It's going to contain a list of words for every single headline. But it's going to contain a tuple.
Right.
If the headline contains 5 words, then the tuple is going to contain 5 elements.
exactly, perfect, okay. So then we're going to group words by the word tuple, whatever's in the content of the word tuple, I should say. And then we get a count of words. And we go down here. So this is doing an overall summary across all of the news feeds. So Python gave us a detailed breakdown per article, and then Pig is doing a summary of that hour worth of major stories across the 4 news sources that we looked at. Okay, so just thinking through this. All right, so let's open up Pig and go through this line by line so we can see the processing and keep our mind fresh on what the schema differences and similarities are. This won't take long to go through because we've been through it
Before you
2 or 3
continue,
times. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. In the 4th to the last line, it says word count equals for each C generate count words as count, comma, group as word.
Mhm.
What does it actually changes if you would just remove group as word? Because I think that, first of all, we are,
And you have only one column, that is count. And then you don't know what that count is. Actually,
oh,
the
yeah,
group
right.
as word, that count is against that word.
Okay.
So in SQL, it's much shorter to say this. this is in SQL, you'd be saying something similar to, I'm not gonna say it's identical, but people who have seen SQL will note it, will recognize this from a different pattern of syntax. Let me just put that on the board, and then I'll take that'll only take like a minute or two, and then I'll steer the camera back to what's being shared here. So blue shows up pretty well. All right, so if we say for each generate count is whatever group is word, this would be in SQL, and I'm putting this down because we're doing SQL on Hive, right? So this isn't extraneous information. It's good to be able to think in two different languages here. All right, select word, comma, count, and here they put in count of words. Here it's just everything is fine. From, use their data set here. They said
C.
It's just C, right? Yeah. Okay, from C. No joining going on. Group by word. I don't think they added, and they said order.
Order by count.
So order by second column. So just number 2 is a positional reference.
And then descending.
Okay, and they want the highest ones at the front, at the beginning of the list. So descending. So that's what that's
They have
a
a
rough
limit.
translation.
What can we do limit in the SQL?
Yeah, in SQL we could say, let's see, from, and I'll just write the limit in here in red right afterwards. From C, group by word, I'll put in the where clause. Where row num, what's their limit?
50.
50. So is less than or equal to 50.
Oh, we do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all it takes. So being able to look at this big program and look at the corresponding SQL is really handy. Now, of course, there's going to be some slight variations. But let's see how close the concept, how close or how minimal those variations are. Okay. All right, so going to pig. So execution for pig is what? I can type this in, but by this point, everybody needs to have this like memorized.
Dash X,
Right.
space local, dash 4, whatever your world file is.
I think I got that remembered correctly. It's in my P directory.
P directory, okay. And then your pig script.
That's the main. I think I got one in here. I'm just using Alt Tab to circle through what my windows are here. I think I've got one in the background. It's probably faster to go down through what's in the file.
Actually, you can change. You can add the tab for each window, and then you change the title.
So I add the tab and change the title manually or automatically?
Not manually. The title has to be changed manually, and then you will know, okay, which window
Right.
for which.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Here we go. I knew I had one hiding back here somewhere.
Yeah, for this, I think if you change the title, and then on the bottom you will see the title.
Yeah, I can change that through the properties.
Can you share your screen?
Oh, thank you. Let's see. Okay, so we've got the, that was the big script that we're looking at. And we're gonna execute that line by line. So just asking people to recall, okay, what is the exact command that we use? And in this other shell, I wanted to get the name of the file exactly. So, and if people notice, I always do ls space dash ltr, because then I know my file name is always going to be on the right-hand side of the window, and I don't have to go fish through a bunch of file names trying to find it. Just handy that way. So take that, select it, hit the middle mouse button, comes in. Actually, I'm just running the whole thing now. I'd say it's going to run it that way. We do that. Sorry. Control C here. There we go.
Come back.
There we go. This come up. So this will be a test to see if Python.
Oh, you want to run line by line?
Yeah, this will be running line by line now. The Python in the background that is running might be getting in the way though. And I'm going to get rid of Firefox because that's throwing a bit of a problem. Yeah, I think that's my problem child again. No, go away. It's fighting with big Python. All right. So I'm going to get my Python, I'm going to terminate the Python script. Hopefully Big is terminating as well. Doing that Pig, but
And I think the Firefox is the trouble.
Yep. It's not responding at all.
The count, 1, 2, 3, 4, Trump, 14.
Kill dash now.
Trump here on my screen is 50.
Right, so this is a dangerous command to run. PS minus EF, and I'm going to do egrep so you can see what's going on a little bit better. I like to always see the parent process ID together with whatever I'm searching for. So this is the way I usually do it. So you can make sure you don't get the parent process ID mixed up with the process ID. All right, and then kill dash 9. Firefox is, let's see. Oh, actually, it looks like it died. Okay, it already went away. Good. Finally died in the middle of, between my running the previous command and running this command, the system killed it, which is good. But it did have the ID 10273, which is what I was going to type in here, but obviously I'm not going to do that right now. So that's the way to help get rid of some of the nuisances. All right, back to Pig here now. All right, now I've got a good response on this. All right, so each of you, obviously each of you can be doing this and should be doing this on your own machine, not just here. So if I load that as this, this is what we read out. This is no problem. This is an obvious thing here. I can't do anything with this yet. For what reason? There's nothing to see. I can't go inspect data. How come I can't inspect data? Data is the name of the relation that just got hit.
No, you can inspect data, but you have not, you do not know how to, no, right, because you need to do a describe, so you know the fields.
No, what do you mean, inspect?
Inspect is a term when you're working in an IDE, integrated development environment, where you can actually go look at the data values.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't look at the data values inside data right now. How come?
Oh, because you have not done a generate.
Not a generated.
No.
I can do this as Sergio said.
Yeah.
That schema, but I can't look at the data values.
And downplay.
What?
You can downplay.
Yeah, if I execute that command. Okay, so there's no way to look at this yet. The only way to do it is to get to that point where you do the dump first, the store.
Yeah, it's not running yet.
Yeah, nothing's running. This is just.
Oh, that's what you're saying, inspect, okay.
Yeah.
It's already been loaded into that relationship, it exists.
Yeah, it has been loaded, but it's not accessible.
Technically, it hasn't even been loaded yet.
Even this line
really?
of command,
Right.
no, the line of command in the memory, but nothing been loaded unless you
So
run this
that
command.
line is gonna get executed as soon as you do a dump or a store.
Right. So the only thing that has been done at this point on this line
Load that into
is
memory.
that line has been essentially parsed for verifying that the syntax is correct and that there is a file called this, et cetera,
Okay.
et cetera. So this is just syntax parsing at this point. Remember,
Okay, all right.
the no execution happens until the dump command or the store command is executed. When that command
store,
occurs,
another
then
command.
execution.
I think there's three. The down, store, and this one more.
Let me know what it is then.
So-
I've only seen
But
two
if you
from two or three different sources.
But you don't have to run the dump command. If there's another command that follows that, it's not a dump, then that will actually get executed.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
The way you
Dump.
stated it almost seemed like you
Right.
had to run dump to get it to do
It doesn't have to be dump data.
Oh,
It doesn't
understood.
anything.
anything. All right.
Right, because keep in mind that what Pig is doing, this is an aspect we'll get into next week as well. Pig is developing a logical plan of execution, and it takes that logical plan at the point of store or dump, and then translates it into a MapReduce jobs. So the execution only happens when store and dump is present. All right, so we get our data as we expect here. From a compilation perspective. And take out the distinct. So here, if I read the data in and then do data distinct, we'll take it as it says. The data is getting transformed. Usually if I try to be really fussy about it, I'll say data 2.
Got it.
I'll probably mess up forgetting to put in data 2, so I'm not going to do that change on the fly. Group by headlines. All right, now if I describe data, that doesn't change because we
It'll
only
be
did
the
distinct
same.
on it.
Yeah.
But if I describe headlines now, what do you expect to see? Because headlines was a group by, and remember you have that keyword group, and then you have the data type. So
What is it? Yeah. So
this-
that's in group.
This
the
is
carrot.
the key. This key is being applied to the relation that has the name data, and that relation to data contains a bank of
1, 2, 3.
tuples.
1, 2,
And
3.
the tuples
The same
all have
three
this
we had
format.
before.
Right.
Okay.
So that, and what Cap just said is the key thing to recognize. This is what came into existence with the load command. And every time in Pig, when we run another command, it's just adding more schema on top of what's already there. So inside your schema definition, you always have the history of where did this current schema come from. And obviously, if you run flat, then the history goes away. So mental concept, important to keep in mind. So this is essentially going to be a key by which to look up rows inside of data. That's what it got. All right, so there's data, headlines. Okay, I'll take this next word. And here we can look at schema again. So describe words. So, and I'll just very simple, flattening everything inside of headlines. Account doesn't come in yet. That's
does not come in.
that's
The number.
next line.
Word.
This is just
Sure.
flattening.
You're just gonna end up with a bunch of words there. If you dump that,
Right, so we're taking all of this,
And then flatten.
right, this headlines is here, headline is here, and what we're doing, here's the key thing, we're tokenizing. So we haven't gone through all the functions that are available in Pig. Whenever you see tokenize, a token is conventionally in, I don't know if the term goes outside of computer science, but I assume it does.
Token?
Yeah, the word token,
Oh, yeah. A lot of
token
places
ring.
we
Wait a
use
minute,
token.
token ring.
other than casinos and.
Casino, yeah. And then the highway.
Yeah, yeah. So in this sense, a token from computer science is just an individual word. That's all a token means, just an individual word, or punctuation. That's why they don't call it.
So it's gonna-
necessarily.
pull out every
Right.
headline word
Right, it's just finding every single word.
in a headline.
Each word is gonna be a character or array. It's
So
flattening the
if we
whole
dump that, you'll just have,
word
you won't
after
even
word.
have, you'll have tokens with just words, just bags. You won't have whatever bags go in there.
Right, let's see what we got here. So we described data up here. And data was gonna be a bag of lines here. Words is gonna be a bag of words.
Forget, what do bags go in? Wait, put it in the sun.
They contain tuples. Bags contain tuples.
Okay.
And so we're collecting all of the words together. All right, so the, I believe C was the next command to run. Yeah. So you do group by.
It's spelled.
Were you, Joe, were you referring to the run command inside grunt?
Hmm?
Were you referring to the run command?
Run, RUN.
You say three commands actually run the script. Dump, store, and you say another one.
Yeah,
Were you referring to run?
run would do it.
Yeah, I think, I
Oh, okay.
don't recall,
But-
but I remember there are three.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're
They're-
forcing the command in front to run.
So that makes sense.
Yeah, I think there are three.
All right, so that was described C, okay. And then going down a little bit more. I guess select this because I have a line number in here. All right, so word count, describe word count. So here's where we have the count coming in now.
Mhm.
So this will be a tuple in here. It's going to have two values in it. And the word over here will come from the word right here. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to put down all of these now. So what's interesting is limit can be applied to the data set before the data set physically exists with data values. So this is interesting right here.
I think this is just, since all these command, when you run it, it's loaded in the memory, and then it just build up a set of the command you run.
Exactly. And then so in memory it'll do that, it'll build up that set, but as it's building up the set, it's partitioning off portions of these commands to map jobs and another portion to reduce jobs. So the whole layout of how many map jobs, how many reduce jobs, and what's the interplay between those is what is taking care of the background. Right. So at this point, if I do run the store command, then what would be kind of interesting and informative, you can do this at home, but we're not going to do it here. So something failed, we'll look at that a little bit, is that if you were to store data, store headlines, store C, then you could get a sense of like, okay, what is this actually, what's this looking like? Or we had an environment where we could run this with a breakpoint, where you go inspect each of these relations as they're being developed. It'd be good to be able to visually see, okay, this is what I got, this is what I got, this is what I got.
Is there such a tool? Eclipse?
I'm sure Eclipse is so large in everything it encompasses, I would think Eclipse could do it. I haven't checked exactly, but Eclipse has that inspection, breakpoint inspection capability. So it'd be good to know whether that is. We'll be using a little bit of Eclipse next week when we do use Java to look at some of the programs and file types. All right, so I got a little error in here. Let's see.
Job has failed.
Let's see. This is a warning. This is a warning. There's a warning. One map reduced job failed. So the date time stamp right now is, let's see if we can get out of this. Okay, we're at 12:35 slash LTR. Ooh, I was expecting log files.
Do you have this?
Is that running this in the wrong directory? Oh, right, no. I don't remember which directory I launched Big from. So
It's not this directory, right?
I don't think so. I think that's my mistake. This last one. Okay. What was it? Shell, I believe. Is it Shell to see the operating system level? No. This message.
Shell
Or just maybe LS. Oh, present. Oh, there we go. I know I was in the wrong location. So just out of curiosity, let me see if I can go into case study RSS. Good, that works. All right, so you got good file system integration here. This is a little different than other, even SQL Plus doesn't do this level of integration. All right, now if I rerun the command again, now we'll learn how to be in the right directory.
SQL Plus, you cannot use the I think It's a question mark or it's something that you can run the show command?
Well, jar file. No, that's fine. So,
Let's see what we're talking about.
Can you check if the directories already exist?
You mean the file that's being output?
no,
The
you're
output
creating a
directory.
directory.
Output directory.
I thought it was not an output directory, just an output.
It should be a
It
directory.
should be a directory because you're doing an output.
Can you do an LS in the case
Oh,
study?
yeah, that's right. I know what you're saying. LS dash L.
That's okay.
Yeah, so it hasn't come out. Yeah.
Do you not have rights to create a directory in there?
All right, now I was expecting the log file to show up here. So I wonder,
Out into,
I'm gonna
you
exit.
don't need the big storage, in the command, using big storage.
Won't hurt.
Mine worked without it, but
Here's actually your turn.
yeah, mine actually ran and I got the output.
Is out a reserved word?
Cat's running the same thing I am.
I ran these one line at a time.
Which
And-
script is this?
Big script that RSS news feed lines that
I
page.
didn't run line by line, but I
I ran
run
line by
the
line.
pig, so it's okay.
Okay, I'm just gonna run mine the whole thing.
Yeah, same time.
All right, we're gonna save time. I don't, because there's something, some little anomaly, maybe I pasted something in or got a special character pasted in there. And
Let's see
what I
how
was
you do
expecting to see is a log file showing up here.
You should end up with a directory.
Right, but I mean.
Yeah,
because
you're
it's
right, it should
error,
be a
I
pig
should be
log.
seeing a pig log. So if I go over here, I'm just curious whether you'd actually see, because even though I'm having impression of the new present working directory,
Everything.
I'm doubting whether it's actually working that way.
Okay, let me try line by line and see what happens.
Yeah, and I'm not getting a log file. That's what you should depend on. All right.
Right?
Yeah. Some of them take exit, some of them take quick.
You know, one doesn't work, try the other.
Right. All right, so. Give this a little bit of time here.
Where are you at right there?
I'm in my home directory. So I'm gonna take this and run it. Since everybody here is saying it works.
When you
must
say
have been
home, you're in the
something.
case directory, right? Not your Cloudera home directory. Although you're running it from over there anyway.
Okay, so I forgot to check my present working directory when I got out of here. Yeah. So-
Actually, I just run it step line by line, and it runs just fine.
Yeah, I did it line by line.
Yeah.
I think it'll work now.
There you go. I changed the present working directory inside the grunt environment. And then when I came out, it resorted back to its initial starting point, which makes perfect sense, of course.
It's just a computer. That's what you tell me. It's slow. Although that's a pretty big file that you were going through.
Yeah, it works just.
It's not too bad. Just speed.
It would be a lot bigger if you ran it for 8 hours on a weekday.
There we go. It's almost there.
Thank God you turned off those warnings. You could go in
Exactly.
You couldn't find the forest for the trees.
You gotta figure out how to do that in Hive though.
Oh, great. It does the same thing.
But it should be as simple as using the -4 option, using the same boarding settings. So now it seems warm in here. Do I have my sweater on too long or else it's,
It's a little warm, but I mean, it's not,
somebody wants to play with the thermostat.
we're all gonna be,
But I changed the thermostat in the other room was set to 60 and then 65. So if you wanna
yeah,
play
it was
with
freezing
one-
out there.
Yeah, there it was freezing. So I turned that one off. It's functionally off because I set the temperature as such.
So, 75?
Well, that's a little warm.
What is it right now?
72.
What is it? Anybody want to sweat?
No, I'd rather be cold.
Maybe you can go down to like 70 or something.
70?
Okay, now I came back.
Okay. So do an LS.
Yeah, so I did something wrong with my copy and paste.
Scan my store.
All right, so as we'd expect, you get a directory in here. So what do you expect to see in the directory? Always going to see a status file and then the results. So we look at the results. So we get word counts, and remember this is just counts of what is in the titles of the articles. So if you were to run this output through another script that would look for nouns as opposed to these prepositional type words like to, and in, and the, if you throw out these and look for nouns, you see Trump at the top. Something about Tech, Charlottesville, Barnon, Barcelona, Confederate, Fall, whatever that might be, Spain, Georgia. So you basically see a listing of what were the main topics of that day. All of the other noisy little words you want to throw out because they're just the connected words, then focus on the main words. Okay. So there's a little survey into Python doing one form of chunking through text, and it provides the sentiment analysis, and then Python is just doing a summary, or sorry, Pig is doing a summary of what the words are in the headlines. if you wanted the pig function, the pig script to be a little bit more interesting, you could say, well, instead of reading the headline title, let's set it up so it can, we have a program that'll dump out the article content and feed the article content into a pig script. So that would increase the complexity a lot because pig doesn't read URLs.
The only missing connection is a neural network to your brain so that you don't have to even go there. And
Exactly. Okay. All right. So if you take this lab that we worked with and then work with this on your own during the week, you should be able to put Flume in between the Python and the pig script.
I mean, with those little Flume scripts we did that said hello back and forth.
Right? Because it's think about it, from a whiteboard perspective, and then we'll go into Hive right after this. I'm watching the clock. It started with Hive. We did it, and really want to get the weather stuff in. So we'll get started with Hive, but we'll make time for the weather at the end of the day. Stop sharing. All right, so then, what do we have right now in terms of our files? We've got the Python script that took in 4 different RSS feeds, and it generated this output.csv, which was loaded by Python, our pig script, which generated this other, what was it, RSS something or other. This RSS output, just based on counts of what words are in the headlines themselves. So if we change this a little bit and say, suppose this is a source for Flume, and Flume puts that file into, it could be a local directory or it could be HDFS. But let's say we follow the lab 2 that we did last week, Saturday. We could put the file into an HDFS location and then a specific directory. So when we say directory, you can be really precise about it. Okay. And then you need to, in order to have this looping construct, because Pig does not have looping capabilities, you'd have to have a separate Python script that would be periodically reading this directory. So it would basically be a read and sleep for 5 minutes or whatever the appropriate timeout would be. So read, sleep, and then when a new file is present, invoke the pig script.
Why would it be a new file?
What's that?
Why would it be a new file? Where is a new file being generated?
So we only ran
Right.
this through once. So this is actually continually running here. So this is always going to be generating a new file periodically. And Flume, the purpose of Flume is to take in dynamic information.
So on the left side, when you say the Python continuous run, it's
Right.
also PR ultimately, right?
It would.
Python's continually running. I
Right.
missed your last 6 words though. So as this individual source from Wall Street Journal, from CNN, and whatever the other 2 were, whatever they are, as these are continually updating themselves, as a web service. And when those updates occur, the Python script will be able to see that update and then execute and generate a new output.csv.
So there would be multiple outputs that CSV.
Yeah, and the script is not,
One-
I haven't checked the logic on the script to see if it's smart enough to add an integer. So you can,
It's a pending.
Oh, I think you're right, there
Is
is
it
a dash A,
oh,
which
Yeah,
is a
pending
that's
The
where I was
Python
confused,
actually
where
is
a new
open
file's
file,
coming from.
append to it.
Mhm.
So,
The name won't ever change.
yeah, it doesn't
So
matter how
Flume won't
many,
know to go grab a new file.
doesn't matter how many sources you have, it always goes to the single file, output,
Mhm.
that CSV, that file.
Okay, so this would be the item to check with them. You know, if I'd have to close this file, that's what we had indicated, when that new file name appears, that's what Flume is looking for. So
Close that file?
the way it worked last week and the week before is when we did a move on that file that was in our school directory,
Uh-huh,
it was only after the file name was changed.
okay.
Because I forget how we had done that. It was a hidden file that we made.
Yeah, we create it as a dot,
Right.
and
Which
then
is
we
like-
remove the dot.
Correct. By removing the dot, it makes it visible to Flume, so Flume instantly grabbed it.
So, yeah, but for us, we can copy it to different file name.
No,
It's gotta be done
you
automatically.
cannot do a copy because the copy will
It's,
create a file name and it will trigger it automatically. And it's gonna be, the content is gonna be incomplete. So we have to close it and then move it. Otherwise, it will not work.
All right.
Or you can copy it to a different directory under a different name
or a different
and then
file
move
name.
it
Yeah, that would be a
without
nice,
closing it.
that would be a nice, clean, simple way of doing it.
What was it? Copy it while it's open?
We cannot close it.
I don't
If
think you
close
can
it,
copy
then,
when it's open
need
for
to
a
reopen
pending,
it.
you could really screw it up.
So I think, yeah, so we can do it indirectly. You can copy it as a hidden file and then rename it.
Right. So you can move the file to a school directory. Yeah, that's the idea. Move it, whatever the case might be. Right. There's a couple of different ways of answering this. Right.
Yeah.
So when you get, so if you do an adjustment in the way that the file naming is handled, then Flume will be happy. Flume writes over there. Python's got will have the control logic to be able to run whatever's in that big script from an analysis perspective. So the key thing here is that this has to be a single time event because Flume's going to grab it immediately when it exists.
And then that file also need to be, you don't want to repeat, right? If we don't close it, create a new one and keep appending on it, and then you are going to have so many things duplicated.
Right. So this would do not append. Instead, write new file.
Yeah, but how Python gonna know to do that unless it shuts itself when it?
It's in a loop.
Right.
Where it sleeps.
It
So
goes
the
to
first
sleep.
thing it does after it wakes up is it checks that the file is there. And if it is there, then it will, technically it shouldn't.
There's no guarantee that any data got appended though, when it woke up.
Depending happens only while it's executing.
Right, so
After
it
when
goes to sleep, you're gonna change the file name, is that what you're saying?
no, the first thing it does after it wakes up
Right.
is to check for the file name collision. Or you could put it either at the end of reading the RSS or at the beginning or right after it sleeps. And there's two different places to put it.
The input is continuous, right?
Right, that's
Well,
the issue
the
I'm having.
input is not continuous, actually.
So that we can solve the problem.
Because
We don't know.
this is, all right, for these particular RSS feeds,
They're
the input is not
periodic.
continuous.
Okay.
They are periodic, meaning they're like hourly during the weekday. And then I think what we read is actually from Friday, like Friday 10 p.m. or something like that. Because I know these RSS top major news stories do not update during Saturday. Or at least they don't update frequently, that's for sure.
I'm sure the internet is a wonderful example of how we can do something fun like this with a different feed that's more real time.
Right.
Like,
now,
an example would be,
to your
stop
point.
that and go to Twitter. That's pretty much continuous.
Exactly.
And yeah, I'm
So-
sure somebody has an example of it.
So if this was a continuous feed thing, you would grab it for a window of seconds, like maybe 2 seconds, if it's something intense like Twitter, and then work on that output. So these are slow feeds; they don't update frequently. Okay, so this would be my suggestion for the next week or two. If you really want to get used to working with the Python and Flume and Pig and some of the support that's needed for Pig, and do something creative like in a Pig file instead of counting the headlines, go ahead and count the words in the file or something like that in the story. Or keep the existing Pig because it already does a count on the headlines, and then augment it by doing a count on what's in the articles. It's getting the information in the articles is going to be something that could be done through a user-defined function. Python can provide access to that, or else.
You can have a Java user defined function, it doesn't really care.
Right. Mhm.
In theory, you can do, did I see somewhere that said was it in Pig, you can do maybe I'm thinking somewhere else, you can do the ever popular JNI,
Mhm.
which all I was ever able to get that to do was say hello world.
What was that, Patrick?
JNI, to do like a C program from inside Java,
Oh, okay, yeah.
which that's god awful. The examples make it look like a piece of cake.
It's JIT, not JNI.
No, Java native interface.
JIT, oh, okay,
Not JIT, Java, that's just in time,
yes, yes. Yeah.
just in time something.
Okay.
Yeah, I like.
Right. So,
I'll give
the
No, no,
main,
you're fine.
my main
Don't
point
worry, don't
with
worry.
this is to do something with Flume
Well, that'd be fun.
in a context that you're already semi-familiar with. Some people here want to learn Python a little bit more, so you got a buck with Python.
Some people.
Right, just a little bit. There's enough of an understanding in the current Python file that's going to be provided to be able to get started into the Python file that's at the far right side, and then modifying the text that's been provided. So the idea is to tie all these pieces together into a pseudo workflow that can still run easily within a virtual machine that we've got.
Pat,
Mhm.
can you lower your?
Make my head smaller?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm-
So I can send out an image of this with a little bit more
Clear.
instruction about alternatives. This is
That's kind of
this is like the creative
It won't
stuff
be
here.
easy, but it'll be fun. when
Right.
it's done.
Right, and all of these steps are not a lot of lines of code. It's rather small. It's just getting them all to connect properly, which is the intention.
So the Flume we try to put in the middle is just like, assume we are going to have a lot of traffic. We need to modern.
But you can assume
I think
non-continuous traffic. There'll be Flume doesn't really care whether it's continuous or not continuous.
Yeah, but
The file
with
name-
with low traffic, Flume is no use there. Right? We didn't take any advantage of Flume. We put Flume there if the
right.
even for the Pig, we don't need the Pig. We just use Python and can do everything.
So if you want to make a really good challenge, go set up a developer account on Twitter and throw Twitter as your RSS feed. Then you'll get continuous and just make sure you have the your time of reading data set small enough so you don't kill your disk space.
And if we move the file like it says, we are actually assuming that it's not going to be a continuous a continuous stream of data, because what the move actually does is renames the file name.
Right.
So as soon as we do the move command, Python is going to abort because it's not
Yeah.
going to have a.
So we did, so here's something interesting to try. The move was in there so that, because we had such a small data sample to work with, I mean, it's only like 3
If
words
the
in it.
file is open, you're not allowed to move it.
You are. I just tested.
It crashed.
Yeah.
You're going
No,
to
it
crash.
didn't crash. I just say we couldn't copy. I just copied.
Your copy
I
is
can-
okay, but you cannot move because the system has a lock on it.
Right?
Really?
How can you move it? The system lock
Let
it.
me give it a try, because I think I tried it.
I need to get out of the room and in case there's a flame
Okay.
here.
So here's the concept, you know, we're trying to do something a
Unless
little bit
my OS
complicated.
knowledge is wrong.
And, you know, next
Come
week,
over here.
we're gonna throw HBase and Hive and Pig together to
Joe.
have those
Yeah.
three working with us. So we develop kind of
What is this?
end-to-end data acquisition,
Of course,
do
it's
some
working.
initial
works, I told
operations
you.
into
Look,
more
What is
analytics side.
output then?
It's Hive is
Doesn't
analytics
exist.
oriented.
Okay, here's
It's
the
not like,
Python is already
it's not
there.
like big.
Oh, no, I
fancy
mean,
oriented.
Take the Python login, try to move it.
Okay, now we're going to HBase or Hive?
Alright,
That's
so
right.
what to do now is,
That's Python.
for the
And
public
it's not
interest and time here,
Because we are not getting
I'm going
input. As
to,
soon as we get input, it's gonna try to write to output and.
start up a new live session, so we can just start off Hive.
Okay,
And this
right now
will
it's
be
not crashing because it's not
semi-risky,
trying to write.
okay? I
It's
don't know if we'll run into some
not
performance
restricted.
issues.
any.
which is why I wanna do it now.
Process.
Okay. We run into performance issues and we'll say, okay, we'll continue next week and we'll then finish with looking at our weather projects and, well, not finish, we'll go into our weather project and then I want to close it out to get that into our minds as
This is
well.
good advice.
So we got 2 hours,
So why don't we?
Yeah.
so
Look, it's
quick break right now after lunch. Want to grab a coffee or whatever
Oh,
while I get
probably
another
what's gonna happen is the event, if
live
it
link
does
starts
something will come.
restarted here.
That's how normally that's the
Says
standard.
feet. Okay, I've heard the term RSS feet.
If it doesn't